But the thing about that is that it ultimately leads to us becoming like God. See, that's not where it stops. He becomes like us in the flesh, but he then creates a way for us to become like him in spirit. And in that way, we are people of a new advent, or the second advent. We're looking for Christ to come, literally to return as he says he will. But in the meantime, every one of us lives with this potentiality that he will physically return in our lifetime, but we all can live with the certainty that he can come in us, that he can be in us right now. And this is where many of us Christians fall short. This is where we choose the world's version of Christmas. But what he's really asking you to do this Christmas is to let him be born in you so that you become like him, a representation of God in the flesh. Now, you can't be Christ, obviously, and neither can I. But what you can be is the closest thing the world is ever going to encounter at times to Christ in the flesh. See, the reality of the advent of what we are becoming is that it will be, for many people, the encounters they have with Christian believers like you that give them a sense of who Christ is first. Let's see. I wrote this one down, and it's not a bad line either, so let me read it. The world encounters Christ through us first, and then by indwelling of the Holy Spirit. So in other words, you will encounter people, just as Adrian described, and be for them the closest thing to Jesus they've ever met. And if it goes well, and their hearts are ready, they will receive the Holy Spirit and actually encounter Christ. But their first step towards meeting Christ will almost always be someone like you. Which means that the advent we look forward to as Christian believers in 2023 is that he would be alive in us, that he would be born in us, just as he was born through Mary. And therefore, we become that very representation of Christ that someone needs to encounter. And you know, as much as I admire and appreciate the technique that was described, I would be inclined to tell you that before you develop a technique, you got to go back to that Bleak Midwinter song. You got to give him your heart. And you will be astonished at how much influence you have for Christ as a representative of Christ, simply because your heart has changed.